Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to be having a look at the energies for the week ahead according to the Oracle cards. And I just want to say a special welcome to Iggy, who is in the chat on YouTube. You amuse me so much. Okay, so just before we get started, I wanted to announce that Gemini Rising is back this week. We have medium Mary Elizabeth on this Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So Anne and I are thrilled to be coming back with the show after a short break. And then just to give you a hint of sort of who we've been speaking to and what we have coming up, we have Jasmine Safi, who is responsible for the Rainbow Oracle that I used last week and that I will be using again this week. Jasmine has agreed to come on the show. We're just locking in times. We have been speaking to JK Ultra again. We're going to talk about her book that she released about a month ago, Ken Not Included. So we're super excited to have her on the show. So if you're a fan of JK and you're interested, go read her book before she comes on the show, and then you'll know all the things that we're going to be talking about. So we're super excited about all of that coming up. There's a whole bunch of other people that we are speaking to. It's all just about scheduling appointments. So it's going to be a fun couple of months ahead. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with all of you. I hope everybody had a wonderful week. As I announced last week, I went away Monday night, and unfortunately, I did not get to be present for full disclosure because where I ended up, we had an issue with Wi-Fi and essentially could not connect to the internet in a meaningful way. So I wasn't able to join the show, but thankfully Anne filled in for me and did an incredible job. So I'm very grateful to her for that, but I will be back and in the studio this Friday. So let's have a look at the cards that are already jumping out. Okay, I've had a few of them that have come out, so we're just going to pull all of these out and see what we have. Okay, this is interesting because one of the cards is one that has been coming out for weeks, for a month. So clearly we're still in that energy. So first card out is rebuilding your life after loss, investing a lot of effort, ready to take action to improve, determination and drive. Then we have isolation. This is a card that keeps coming out each and every week. Being emotionally removed, choosing to be alone, recharge your mind and body, and introspection. So we still have this energy going on. Sadness, disappointment, regret, depression, unwelcome change. Dice, time to take risks, getting out of your comfort zone, leap into the unknown, adventure awaits. Third party, others interfering in your business, possible love triangle, too many people involved, somebody is watching you. And then the final card that jumped out was dreams, vivid dreaming, dream messages, reaching for your dreams. Your dreams are calling you, the power of imagination. Okay, so let's have a look at what all of this means as a whole, because there was a reason all these cards came out together at the same time. For the last several weeks, we have been told that we need to go within. The isolation card keeps coming out. And, there is that element of being emotionally removed, choosing to be alone, recharging your mind and body, and introspection. And I mean, for me personally, last week was not a planned week in terms of travel. It was a last minute thing, but it was very much about recharging my mind and body, having time alone with my partner, and sort of digging deep into a lot of things. And what we were doing for ourselves was about shifting stagnation within the body, which ultimately shifts a lot of things in every other area. And it was exactly what was needed. And I feel like I have come back in a way that is much more focused, recharged, and ready to take on the world. What I've achieved in the last few days has actually been quite incredible. And what I have coming up over the next several weeks, it's given me that energy to do it. But I tell you that to highlight the importance of going within and making the effort to remove yourself from situations if that's what you need to do. Because sometimes taking a step away, even for me, losing last week has meant that the amount of work that I have in preparation for the interview that I'm filming tomorrow about the domestic violence, I think I spoke about that last week. It took a lot of time away from the prep that I would normally do. I still have more than enough time to get everything done, but it was important because it has allowed me to focus in a much sharper, and in a way that allows me to focus and hone in the right area, to know where it is I need to go and to navigate this entire interview. So for you, it's going to be different. It's going to be different areas of your life that are affected, and that is the reason why you need to have that introspection. But just make sure you're taking the time to do it. The rebuilding card, rebuilding your life after loss, investing a lot of effort, ready to take action to improve determination and drive. So it doesn't necessarily need to be that you're rebuilding from scratch, but it may be that there is a new focus and a new determination in terms of where you're going, the direction you're going, and how you're going about it. And pay attention to what it is that you're trying to put together, because there are moments in time where we know what it is we're trying to achieve and we feel like we're going around and around and around in circles and we're not getting anywhere. And so this is where we need to change the way we're going about it. We need to look for another avenue, whether it be completely changing our approach, coming at it from a different angle, realizing there is a different way we could be doing these things. So just know that that is on the cards for this week. Then we've got the sadness card: disappointment, regret, depression, and unwelcome change. So sometimes when we are needing to rebuild, we're called upon to let go of maybe the vision that we had of how it was going to happen, the ease of how things were going to move for us. And that can be incredibly frustrating. We can feel a sense of regret that we didn't see things clearly originally. We can feel a little depressed because things haven't worked out the way we wanted to, because we're not seeing the fact that the change of tactic and the change of how we're approaching all of this is actually going to be better for us in the long run. So do not get caught up in that feeling of sadness, depression, disappointment coming up. If this is where you need to go within yourself and actually take a look at why you're feeling this way. Is it fear of the unknown? Is it fear of change? Because often the reason we use the saying, better the devil you know, is because this is why people stay in shitty situations, because we understand the rules of engagement where we are. It is so easy to just continue because we understand the boundaries, the limitations, all of that. Stepping outside of that, we're taking a risk. And what do you know? The next card up is the dice. Time to take risks, getting out of your comfort zone, leap into the unknown, adventure awaits. So this is the issue, right? When this change is forced upon us and when we're in that space of, I want to hang on to what I know, I want to hang on to the place that I'm comfortable in, we're avoiding this. Sure, there are moments in time where it's better to wait because that's what is going to serve us, to bide our time and to sit with it before we make any sort of harsh moves. The whole thing is, this week is not what that's about. It is time to actually take the action so that you can rebuild, whatever it is, relationships, business things, friendships, just the day-to-day structure of your life and how it runs. Maybe you've been stuck in a pattern where you've got a routine and you're thinking, oh, I hate this. I hate getting up and I hate having to do it this way and I hate having to do it that way. So this is the week where you can go, okay, I don't want to do it this way. I don't want to be working out at 6 p.m. I want to be working out at 6 a.m. I want to become that morning person. So I am going to restructure all of this. And there's always that element of adjustment, but it's going to serve you in the long run if it's going to bring you the happiness and the peace that you need. Getting out of your comfort zone, pushing the limits, leaping into the unknown. This is where we learn about trust, true trust, and letting go, which I often talk about in terms of manifestation. You're not going to be able to manifest the things that you want unless you're able to put it out to the universe and release it all and trust that the universe will provide. And even though this is something I know and something I practice, there are moments in life where I still need to be reminded. And it's so frustrating because we always want to have an element of control over our own lives. The reality is, when you roll the dice, when you take the risks, when you go, right, it's time to shift something, this is where the big adventures in life happen. This is where the great stories happen. And if you knew what I did in the last week, you would realize it was a total adventure. It was something completely out of my comfort zone. And it was amazing. And I'm so glad that I did it. And, we put ourselves in these situations because, you know what? At worst, it's going to make a great story. At worst, I'm going to say, this didn't work for me, but I'm not left with any questions at the other side or at the end of my life. I can say, I tried that. This worked for me. This didn't. Got some great stories out of it, and I knew the answers. I was never left with questions. So just make sure you embrace the whole rolling of the dice. Third party, so others interfering in your business, possible love triangle, too many people involved, someone is watching you. I know the possible love triangle line is there. I don't think that's what this card is about. And I mean, people cheating, it's a fact of life. For better or worse, this is what we're always going to deal with in this life. I think this is more about, in terms of this week, it's about others having opinions on your life. It's about others having opinions on how you're moving through things and the choices that you're making, the risks that you're taking, the changes that you're making, because you have to remember, people like us to be stuck where we are because that is what serves them. And as even though they may love us, they love us where we are because, again, it works for them. So just know that if others are interfering in your business, if there are people giving you too many opinions and sort of watching every move that you make, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to you and your life and what it is you are doing. Do not let their opinions have a bearing on your life, because they're trying to stop you for their own reasons. They're giving you their opinions because they're scared to roll the dice. They want you where they are, whatever the reason. I've told this story multiple times when I've done these readings about all the people that told me I shouldn't and couldn't move to the US and that I would never make it work. I'm almost 8 years into my life here in the United States, and making that decision was the best decision I ever could have made for myself. The reason these people were telling me I couldn't was because they knew people that couldn't. They weren't brave enough to do it themselves, or they came over and they tried and it didn't work for them. What I had to explain to each and every one of them is, I am not them. I am me. And I know that when I am told no, that makes me more determined than ever to continue. I don't allow those people and their opinions to dictate my life and my life choices. So this is where you need to do the same this week in terms of having very clear boundaries. People can have their opinions. They can share what they want. It doesn't mean you have to listen, and you need to remember that, and you need to be strong enough to do it. And then the final card that had jumped out is dreams. Vivid dreaming, dream messages, reaching for your dreams. Your dreams are calling you, the power of imagination. So this is all. So this particular card is a little layered. So the rebuilding, the rolling of the dice, all of that. This is about going after what you want to create in your life, what is going to serve you. The other part of it is the actual vivid dreams that are taking place. I was having a conversation with Anne before we started this reading about our vivid dreams. I don't remember what my dreams were, but I remember that I dreamt all night long. And then I woke up, I went to the bathroom, I went back to sleep, and then another really vivid over-the-top dream started. Anne was telling me about her dream, which was as intense as mine, if not more intense. So we are in a moment of there being actual very, very, very vivid dreams. And I'm assuming it's because Neptune is retrograde. So pay attention to what the dreams are and what messages they're giving you. Last week I was dreaming about crocodiles in the water and all this stuff that was going on with it. And I looked up the meaning of having crocodiles in the water with you, and it was incredibly accurate as to what was going on for me. So if you're in that state and you are getting those dreams that you wake up and they sit with you all day, go and do the research to find out what it is your subconscious is trying to tell you, because there probably are messages coming through that. All right, I wanted to pull 2 more cards. So the first one that came out is love, romantic feelings, mutual attraction. Someone has feelings for you, focusing on love. So there is going to be an element of at least attraction, mutual attraction, all of that going on this week. Don't forget, we are in Mercury retrograde, and all of the astrologers that I've been listening to have been talking about exes, past lovers coming back into our lives and reappearing. I've certainly heard from one of my exes randomly after Mercury went retrograde, just, hey, checking in. So just know that that is there. Maybe you're going to meet someone. There's going to be a little bit of a spark, and focusing on love. The other part of that is it doesn't need to be a romantic love with somebody else. It can go back to isolation. Love for yourself, taking care of yourself, doing what is right for you. So just know that that is one of the themes for this week. And then unfinished, leaving things unfinished, tying up loose ends, things left unresolved, see things through. So again, with the fact that we have 3 planets retrograde, Saturn, Neptune, and Mercury, it makes sense that we have this element of loose ends being tied up, things that we need to deal with and pay attention to. So for me, this card is more about the things that are popping up where we have to tie up those loose ends and get things completed, seeing them through so that we can move forward with the rebuilding, with the new adventures, and with the things that we're focusing on to build the rest of our life up in a really good way. When you have those permanent loose ends hanging over our head, it becomes very difficult to move forward because you constantly have these things pulling you back. So use this retrograde period as a moment to get all of these things finished so that when everything is direct again, you are able to move forward at a really rapid pace without anything tying you back to what was and what was left unfinished. We're moving on to Angels and Ancestors Oracle cards, which is the Kyle Gray deck. So the first card out is Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. So it is time to really take stock, and this goes back to the isolation card. And the fact that this card has been so prominent in the readings for the last month, I think it's very easy for all of us to be very disconnected, especially in this day and age. We've got so much technology around us. Everybody's calling on us to, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Working on a story separate to the domestic violence for me, it's about corruption that's going on within the Australian government. And I've had people, we've got to get it done. We've got to get it done now. And this week I just went, I'm one person, we need to take a breath. I will get it done and it will be done in a timely way, but I have these other things that are coming up first. We have to take care of it. You have to connect with your emotions and what you are able to realistically do in this lifetime, whether it be in terms of emotionally supporting other people, what you have the emotional capacity to deal with in life, whether you just need a break because you have been burning the candle at both ends between work and family and friends and trying to keep everything afloat. You need to connect to you, and you need to connect to what it is you need so that you are able to move forward in the way that you need to. Next card out is Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. This is something we should be doing all the time because, again, there's always interference. My favorite way of doing this is I meditate, I ground myself. I always do cord cutting in any of my meditations because it's very easy for people to try and attach their energies to me. So I always practice cord cutting. And then when I'm done and I'm free of everybody else's energy, I always end it with protecting myself in golden light. And that gold is protection for you. So keep that in mind. Make sure you are taking care of yourself. So again, this week, a lot of it is about self-love, self-protection, filling up your cup before you can fill up anybody else's. Think of being on the plane and having to put the oxygen mask on your face before helping anybody else. Because if you're passed out because you can't breathe, you can't help anybody else. It's the same with taking care of yourself, being aware of what it is you need, being aware of what it is you need to do for you to protect yourself in order to be able to move forward through the world and do the incredible work that you are here to do. Okay, so the final card from this deck is Knight. Be brave and honest. So being brave goes back to the dice. It's time to take risks. It's time to let go of what is safe and going after what is going to serve us, what is going to give us the answers in life. And being honest is layered. It's being honest with ourselves about our needs, wants, desires, our capabilities, what it is we want to achieve. And then the other part of it is being honest with those around us, being honest with how people make us feel, be honest with how somebody's actions have affected you, if that is a conversation that you need to have. Be honest with yourself about whether you're happy in the situation you're in, if there are changes that you need to make. It's being honest on every level so that you can step forward in the freest, most unencumbered way possible, because that is the way you are going to that is the way you're going to be able to have the most profound change and effective change in your life, to make the most difference and to have the most profound impact, which I think is something that we all want to achieve in this life. We want to get to the end of it and go, I did everything that I could. I had an impact. I did something that mattered. So the only way you're going to get to that point is total and complete honesty with yourself and with those that are around you. Okay, and we are going to finish up with 2 cards from the Rainbow Oracle, Jasmine, Safi. As I said, you'll have to be following our Instagram or Facebook pages to see the announcement for when she's coming on. We're just sort of narrowing down dates, and it should be within the next little while. And she also has announcements about things that are coming up for her, but these cards are magical. Flourish. Conditions are perfect for growth and expansion in business and situations you are passionate about. So again, this is the week. This is the week for things to really take hold and start to shift and bloom. And this is what we want. We want to tap into this energy 100% and commit to it and take advantage of it while it is here. I love the artwork on these cards. I love the colors that are used. I love how special this artwork is. But this card is magical because to me, this is what heaven looks like. These vibrant colors and things exploding in the most beautiful and magical way. And this is the energy of this week. This is what we're able to achieve when you embrace the changes that are coming through. Christopher, the name of this deck is the Rainbow Oracle, Jasmine Safi. And I think the best place to buy it is actually her website. So if you actually Google her, you'll get to her website and you can buy it through there. Okay, we are going to pull one more card. Vibrational shift. You are shifting from your polarized world of duality to the freedom of heart unity. So it is. This week is all about the shift. And when you have that shift, you're going to move into flourish. So the decision is yours as to whether, because we have free will in this world, we have the ability to make the choice to stay where we are and to stay in the space that we're in, to listen to the people that are sitting on the periphery and telling us that we can't or we shouldn't or we're bad people for trying to step into this space of bettering ourselves. Or we can trust what it is we know we're meant to be doing and the messages that we are getting and start making those changes to build the life that we've always envisioned for ourselves. So I hope that you're brave enough to step into that and just know that if you're not ready to release, you are going to be sort of treading water where you are. There will be other moments where the energy shifts, but this is a perfect week for you to really embrace the opportunities that are put in front of you, to really start making these changes, to step into the life that you were put here to live and to have the impact that you were put here to have. So this is your choice. Are you ready to be brave and honest and step into that flourish energy? I hope that you are. I hope that it is a wonderful week. So in a couple of days, I will be uploading the August monthly reading. I'm going to stick with Pick a Pile, so keep your eyes open for that. That'll be going up. Join Anne and I for our conversation with medium Mary Elizabeth on Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Of course, if that's a bad time for you because you're at work, the recording will be available under the live stream section of my YouTube page at Natalie Sadie. So that's going to be a fantastic episode. Can't wait to see you there. And of course, I'll be back in the studio on Thursday with David for full disclosure. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Not every reading is for every person. And Anne, thank you so much.